My name's Andrew Lilley. I'm Director of Sales Engineering at 8x8. So today I'm going to talk about enhancing customer experience and first contact resolution, driving first contact resolution. I'm not going to talk all about AI. I can talk all about AI. In fact, I've been to some events recently where they've actually told me not to talk about AI because everyone's talking about AI, okay? So I can do that if you want me to, and I will touch on it definitely, though, within my talk track. Okay, so I always like to start with a story when I'm presenting. So I was at an event a couple of weeks back, but probably a month or so now, DTX, UCX Expo. Did anyone attend that event? Right, I'm a ex-engineer, sales engineer. I've also worked in sales. So DTX, to me, coming from a contact center background, I always found a bit of a boring event, to be honest. It was all around unified communications and collaboration. But what excites me, I started my career doing speech recognition research a long, long time ago. But what I would say is that the event this year was very different. DTX UCX I found fascinating. It was all about customer experience. It was all, of course, about AI. What I tend to do when I go to events now is I let my team do all the stand duty in the demos. And I tend to go round and listen to all our competitors pitching and presenting. I use AI, I actually record a lot of their speaking slots. I've been recording the speaking slots today. I summarize them, okay? I use something called Otter, otter.ai. Anyone use Otter? Really good. The transcription level is fantastic. So when I was at that event, I first of all listened to one competitor talk about how you improve customer experience without AI. Really interesting talk track. The second competitor spoke about how you improve customer experience just with AI. So they went all in on AI. And then, as you've probably heard today, I heard a keynote speaker talking about how AI is going to transform everything that we do, that we're all going to be able to work in the next 3 to 5 years, and we're going to be taken over by robots. I think we're somewhere in the middle, and I'll give you some context around that. But as I said, I use AI very much every day in what I do in my day job. So we're obviously on the cusp of something truly transformational with artificial intelligence. But what I would say is that not everyone is ready to commit everything their customer service to AI. You've heard that message consistently today. We're on that journey. I think there's a lot of things that you can actually do with the technologies that you have today, and I'm going to focus on those and then talk about a little bit about AI and how that supplements that as well. Of course, over the next 30 minutes or so, I said I want to focus on how you can increase that first contact resolution and some of the things you can do. But as a techie and as a sales engineer, I also want to bring that to life with a live demonstration. So I've got my trusty volunteer there, and I'm actually going to tell a story which is based on a true thing. I bought a bike many years ago, and it turned up with no pedals, okay? I didn't know that you get bikes with no pedals. They have to be of a certain value. I can see a lot of nods around here. So that's the story that I want to tell you. Okay, so just show of hands, who knows about 8x8? Because I can, great, okay. Marketing made me do this. It's a bit like the school, little Johnny made me do this, but marketing made me put this slide. So for anyone who's not aware of 8x8, it's been around for about 30 or 40 years now. Gartner Magic Quadrant leader for unified communications and contact center, about a $750 million business. That's out the way now, so that is who we are. So if you want to know more about us, come and see us on the stand. Very happy to talk about this afterwards. So, okay, now we've covered the formalities. I think what I really want to do is get into the substance of the presentation. As we know, customer experience is a really broad topic, but as I've heard many times today, it's not really a choice. It's a necessity. It's what makes or breaks your brand. You have to equip your agents with the right tools to be able to do their job, things like simple integrations, for example. It's about how you build those relationships with your customers. If you do that in the wrong way, obviously, it has a serious impact on your business and as a brand. I was actually a customer the other day, and one of the things, I was walking around and they were handling emails on the 8x8 system, and I thought, what's that application they're actually using on the right-hand side? And what they were actually doing was cutting and pasting emails into ChatGPT, letting ChatGPT respond to the email, and then cutting and pasting it back into the system. Not a great idea for many reasons. Okay, so let's focus on some of the things you can do, I think, to improve customer experience without using AI. Some of this is going to touch on AI. So the first thing, of course, is it's around that first contact resolution. I think the training that you deliver to agents, greeting your customers in the right way, delivering on your promises. I know if someone says they're going to call me back, and they do, I am a person that will go on to whatever application it is, TripAdvisor, if I'm booking hotels, booking holidays, and I will give 3, 4, 5-star reviews. If you ever go to a restaurant in London, and I've eaten there, you will find a review from me, because I think it's important to give that feedback. So that's the first thing, about delivering on your promises. Secondly, the thing is, how do you effectively handle those peaks and troughs? I was listening to a competitor the other day, and they were talking about the Martin Lewis effect. So you wake up in the morning, Martin Lewis comes onto breakfast TV, and he advises everyone to ring this number to claim their £200. Every workforce management and workforce planner's worst nightmare. What you can do, though, is if you invest in the right technology and the right infrastructure, something like cloud that is elastically scalable, that can actually scale to meet those demands when you get those Martin Lewis or marketing type campaign moments. Of course, there's a lot you can do with technology, and I'm going to drill down on some of this. How you greet the customer, simple screen pops, using their name, looking at their customer effort, looking at their customer journey to date, can all deliver that better experience to the customer and a better agent experience as well. I wouldn't discount callbacks either. Callbacks, to me, I think, are a great customer experience. We all know that contact centers are really, really busy. If I can go onto the web, or I can call into the IVR and schedule a callback, if they call me back at the time I've actually scheduled, fantastic customer experience. Again, helps drive that first contact resolution and also drive that better customer experience. I've heard a lot of people talk about omni-channel, so omni-channel, multi-channel. What was the term someone used? Opti-channel. I actually like that, actually, but so I'm going to think about it as well. I'm sure I'm going to hear more of it. Who's going to CC Expo next week? Okay, I'm sure it may be the new buzzword. But omni-channel, being able to offer customers that choice, 365, 24/7, lots of generational divides we know here. Being able to channel shift between maybe voice between chat up to voice, maybe to video. I'm going to show that in the demonstration. Okay, so hopefully that's going to come to life. Speech analytics. Speech analytics has been around a long time, but the ability to actually not only analyze voice calls, but also chat calls using natural language processing allows you to actually look at trends, but most importantly, coach your agents in the most effective way. If you coach your agents in the most effective way, they can deliver a better customer experience to your customers. Knowledge, so knowledge-based articles and CRM integrations. I think there's been a lot spoken about AI today, artificial intelligence. I speak to a lot of prospects who are looking at things like Agent Assist and Copilot. That's all about helping, assisting the agent to do their job in a more efficient way. These technologies allow you now to actually listen in real time to the conversation, and they can proactively prompt the agent with the next best action to deliver that best customer experience. And then there's a couple of other things that I'd like to touch on. Soft skills training. So I was with a customer the other day, and they invest a significant amount of time in soft skills training for their agents. How to deliver empathy. Some agents are really good at conversations. Some are really good at email and chat. I've even seen agents that can spin lots of plates, even though I see a lot of organizations still working traditionally or pretty much in silos today. Reporting on metrics. With a modern cloud solution, if you can't measure it, you can't change it, is my view. So if you're looking at a contact center, if you can actually understand some of the key peaks and trends, what good looks like, you can adjust the business model then using those insights with that reporting and the metrics to deliver a better customer experience, which leads to a higher first contact resolution. And then finally, the sixth thing I want to touch on is organizational culture. So Mitel touched on this, I think everyone's touched on this. One of the big trends I'm seeing at the moment is joining that front office and back office, but also providing contact center-like capabilities to knowledge workers. So if you're an IT help desk worker or a HR professional, for example, you're not a contact center worker. You're not chained to a desk, but the business wants to equip you with the tools to do your job in a more efficient way. More advanced routing and queuing, integrations to different systems, the ability to take a payment, the ability to look at reporting and metrics. So I'm going to talk about a product we've launched called 8x8 Engage that bridges that CX gap between a unified communications user or back office user and someone who works traditionally in the contact center. Okay, so let's talk about some of the stats we're seeing in the industry. Going last, what this does is it just reinforces some of the messages you've heard already, because I actually agree with a lot of what I've heard today. If you look at customer experience across most organizations, this was a survey that we did, 92% of CX leaders or businesses think it's a priority to have across the whole organization. I think that's slightly different if I go back 5, 10 years. Front office and back office never really communicated with each other. You know, I'll give you an example. Why should you be calling a customer for an order if they've had a lot of problems? Just being able to join those different systems together enables you to make a more informed conversation. So CX, as we know, is important across the organization. But what we're hearing is this, you know, customers are frustrated, agents don't have the right tools. Again, this was in some of the talk tracks from earlier. If you can't measure it, you can't change it, so you can't deliver those operational efficiencies without the right reporting and metrics. And then we're seeing gaps in solution deficiencies as well. So this is what we're hearing. This is the reality, what we see on the ground. Again, this links to one of the slides I saw earlier. Customer experience probably at its lowest ebb. It's going down, it went up, and now we're seeing from this Forrester research, and I think there's many reasons around that, and people have touched on this earlier. It's around customer expectations. I think it's around generational divides. I also think it's around people using new technologies as well. So they really haven't tailored or worked out how to use those new technologies, those self-service, those AI, those conversational AI bots, to actually deliver the level of customer experience that customers want. Again, voice. We still see from a statistic that voice is predominantly the main channel here. But again, depending on whether you're Generation X, Y, Z, Millennial, it really depends how you want to interact with a business. If I ask my son, who's 26, or my other son, who's 23, to ring a business, they look at me in horror. They are phono sapiens, is the term I've used. Everything is app-driven, walking around like this. They will do something with web chat. If they don't like the app, they delete it, download the next app. Personally, I tend to, because I work in tech, I will always start my customer journey online. So I go onto a website, very happy to talk to a bot if it's done well, okay. Then escalate it to chat, and then maybe to a voice call. But I'll give you a story on this. I'm at an age, and I never thought I'd actually be saying this in a presentation, but I'm at an age now where things like pensions are quite important to me. So I was working with a well-known pension provider probably about 2 months ago. I thought I'll get ahead of the budget and I'll put some money in my pension pot. It went missing for 2 weeks. It wasn't an insignificant amount of money either. So I topped up my pension based on the last 3 years' allowance. They couldn't find the money. So what I did, I logged into my accounts. I started with a chat bot. I then went to chat. Eventually I resolved it using a voice call with a very helpful agent, and it took 45 minutes. The money had been put in a holding pot somewhere, ever to disappear until I actually contacted them, okay? So I think this really summarizes that. I start online, and then I will move to a voice call, and it really depends on the value and the complexity of the transaction. So how do you leverage technology to optimize some of those first contact experiences? So if you know the 8x8 platform, what I'm going to do is just bring to life a couple of things here and how we use certain capabilities within our product to enhance customer experience and deliver that first contact resolution. Digital enhancements and omni-channel. I think most people who've worked in the contact center industry understand what this truly means. I see a lot of RFPs where people don't understand multi-channel, omni-channel, all different terms for this. But we all know that what we need to be able to offer to our customers is a channel of choice. And this changes generation by generation, whether that's voice, that's chat, email, social media. One of the biggest things I'm seeing a demand for in 8x8 is WhatsApp. Everyone wants to know, do you integrate with WhatsApp? Does it integrate with your CRM application? Can you support SMS, proactive outbound SMS? So again, I'm going to show you that as part of the demonstration. So having a broad-based a bunch of channels that you can communicate with your customers is really important. 365, 24/7 channel of choice is the way I would summarize that. And the other key thing is then being able to blend those interactions to drive that first contact resolution. Nothing more frustrating than calling into a contact center or chatting with a contact center, being put on hold, and then being transferred multiple times, okay? Wouldn't it be a great customer experience if that you could actually start as a chat, then speak to the agent, and they could elevate between the different channels and actually resolve that interaction, that customer interaction, in one hit? And again, I'm going to show you that with the bike example when I use Nick later. So when you're looking at contact center solutions, it should be omni-channel, it should support channel shifting and blended interactions. I think the reality is in a lot of contact centers today is that people still tend to operate in silos. I have seen one contact center where agents were handling 5 chats and a voice call would come in and interrupt everything they were doing. Maybe, I'd be interested talking to people what people's views are on that. So I mentioned SMS. It's one of the things that I will check. I mean, SMSs, I check my phone too frequently. I wouldn't say it's every 12 minutes, but it's one of the things I will open. It's one of the things I won't click on. I think SMS is a really great way to call to action your customers, and we've integrated SMS capabilities into all our technology solutions. I used to work in the fraud detection industry, so I actually worked for a vendor that was specializing in doing fraud detection for contact centers. So I know some of the tactics of how these fraudsters operate, okay? So I am very, very careful. Unless I initiate it, I'm not answering it, okay? SMS, though, I think is a really good way of being kept up to date with what's going on. I love it with my, when I book a taxi, my local taxi company sends me a text, your driver is around the corner, he's at your front door, please get to the front door or he's going to drive and pick up someone else, okay? So we get a whole level of messages there. So what we've done at 8x8, we've packaged that, so we have 3 different SMS applications. Again, these are integrated with our contact center. Notify is for like mass marketing, mass messaging. Interact is where a customer can interact with a contact center agent in a 2-way SMS conversation, a bit like web chat. I'm interested to see how this plays out actually, because I think people will use WhatsApp or maybe use web chat more, but there is a demand. Some people like to use SMS in that 2-way conversation. And then alerts. So we packaged proactive outreach alert this quarter. That's the things like snow days, which I think are quite relevant at the moment, if you live, especially if you live in the north of England. So I touched on analytics. So again, if you can't measure it, you can't change it. There's 2 parts, or 3 or 4 parts actually within the 8x8 solution that offer analytics capabilities. You've got real time, you've got historical, you've got your wallboards and your dashboards. We also include speech analytics and quality management. The key thing here, though, I think, from a speech analytics perspective for first contact resolution, it's about coaching moments. It's about identifying trends and best practice so that you can coach your agents in the right way to deliver that better customer experience, okay? We will analyze every single call with our speech analytics product or every single chat interaction. Historically, a lot of technologies always use the bucket of water analogy. It's like putting a bucket in the Thames and saying that's a sample of all the water in the Thames. What we do is we analyze every single call, and then you can see all the analytics around that. So use speech analytics for coaching to deliver better customer experiences. Supervisor Workspace was a recent release this year. What we've done, I heard this term earlier, single pane of glass. We've consolidated all our real-time metrics, historical metrics, into a supervisor view. We also support customizable widgets. So if you want to put a workforce management widget into the supervisor view, it's a toolkit that enables a supervisor to measure everything that's important to them in their day-to-day job, okay? So they can actually react and adjust. So having great analytics, being able to drill down on single interactions, even do things like look at sentiment of an individual call using AI, is all bundled within the 8x8 application. So another key trend I see all the time is that bridging that CX gap across the organization. So I mentioned something called 8x8 Engage. The Mitel guys were talking about this. I think the Zoom guys spoke about it as well. It's a key trend I see. I talk to a lot of businesses, and what they're really trying to do is bridge that CX gap, that sort of disconnect between the front office and the back office. They're looking at how do I actually provide my knowledge workers with some of the core capabilities that you would traditionally see in a contact center, more advanced routing and queuing. Wouldn't it be good, for example, if a call went into the contact center, the front office worker, that it may be overflowed to a professional that could still deliver that great customer experience? So we launched something called 8x8 Engage. It bridges that gap, that knowledge worker, focuses on, I would say, on different personas, and we're going to layer more and more capabilities into that middle area that you can actually see there. I think the differences in persona, when you look at knowledge workers, I think this is a nice slide because it really does summarize what Engage addresses. It addresses that CX professional. We all know in contact centers, a lot of agents are tied to desks. Their level of autonomy and repetition is very different to someone who works in an IT department or works in an HR department. The other key thing is, with Engage, it works on your desktop, it works on your mobile phone. So you actually use our unified communications application to access the same capabilities as that you would within a contact center, okay? Again, summarizing that, Engage sits between 8x8 work and the contact center. So let's talk about automation. We mentioned earlier that I think voice is predominantly still the same channel, but the important thing here is that we offer the channel of choice depending on how the customer wants to interact. We've all seen slides like this in the past. Everyone remembers the auto attendant, press 1 for this, 2 for that, 3 for that, 6 for that, 7 for that. And now we're at a point where we're using true conversational AI, where you can actually have a true conversation with a bot. Again, what I'm finding when I speak to most customers is they're looking at specific use cases. It could be around identification and verification. It could be around low-value automated transactions. Typically where they're using conversational AI or AI technologies is to actually support the agent in doing their job more efficiently rather than replacing agents. Again, it really does depend on the use case though. It also extends your coverage, your opening hours. So you can implement a voice bot, for example, or a chat bot that works 24/7 through the night, delivering a great level of customer service. Okay, so let's get to the fun part as an SC. So, Nick, say hello to the audience.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, all right. So this is actually a true story. So as I said, I went out, we had a good quarter after COVID, like everyone did, who was selling virtual technologies. And I thought, I'm going to go out and buy myself a decent bike. Because like Nick, I like to cycle. I'd never bought a bike over a certain amount of money, and this bike turned up. I was really excited. All turned up in the box. I opened the box, and there were no pedals. I won't tell you what my wife said, but it had a swear word in it, and she couldn't believe there was no pedals. It was a negotiation to buy the bike in the first place. So I phoned up the business. We walked through. I then found out that with expensive bikes or gravel bikes, you have to order your own pedals depending on what types of shoes you wear, okay? So I ordered these pedals with spikes and other things on it. It was quite good. So what I'm going to do in this demo, I'm going to log on. I'm going to start my journey as I did that day. I'm going to talk to a chatbot, okay? I'm going to ask it a question. It's not going to give me the answer that I need. I'm then going to elevate that through to an agent. The agent is going to continue to chat to me. We're still not getting to where we need to be. He's then going to call me back, and then he's going to say, okay, let me help you a little bit further. Let's escalate this to video. So I'm going to show you that complete customer journey, first contact resolution, chatbot, digital, agent, voice call to video. All live now. That's the plan, okay? That's why I'm an SC, and so I take risks. Okay. Let's make sure I'm available. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to log on to a nice web page that one of my sales engineers created for me called Walters Cars and Cycles. It was after a branded business, but we've anonymized it, okay? So what I will do is I will open up the chat interface, the chatbot interface, and I will start the conversation. So it greets me. Please, can I start with your first name? Because obviously I'm a returning customer. Andrew. Like most chatbots, it gives you a menu of different options. What I'm going to do is use true conversational AI here. Rather than clicking a button like an IVR, I'm going to actually say, I have a problem with my bike. Understands my intent, and it's given me a video to watch, a YouTube video. Didn't help me on the day because I still couldn't understand why I didn't get any pedals. So I want to speak to an agent, please. So transfers me through to the agents. I answer the interaction. I can see the way we've built our integration with our chatbot and our web chat channels. The agent gets a full history of the interaction. Really great customer experience, okay? So I'll say to the customer, I could type here, have you tried this? Have you bought any pedals? All those sort of things. But what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to say to the customer as an agent, I'm going to give you a call back and let's talk through this. We're not really getting anywhere with the web chat. So this is where Nick comes into the demo. Yes, please. Hello, is that Nick?
Hello, Andrew. You missing your pedals?
I am missing my pedals. I'm going to guide you through a few things. Have you actually checked that there's any pedals in the box?
I have, and you didn't have any pedals in the box.
Okay. What bike did you actually buy?
Did you buy a gravel bike?
I did, yes.
I'm afraid they don't come with pedals.
Okay, all right. So I'd need some help on how to fit pedals. I've never done it before. So what I think to do to resolve this a lot faster is rather than us talk about it, I think if you could show me the problem, okay, I think that would really help resolve this really fast, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you an SMS message. So we're going from web chat to the agent to voice call. I'm going to send you an SMS with a video invite, and could you please click on that link? Have you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, if you open it up, the text.
Thank you.
Best made demos and all that. Let me do this again, okay? We did test this earlier. Okay. calling you again.
Okay, answer that.
Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
Send you a new video invite. Just double check that's your number. Okay, that's better. Open up the video interaction. So this is where typically we get
There you go.
motion sickness, and we now go through looking at the video.
Wave at the camera.
Okay. All right.
Everyone's feeling sick now.
So, really great customer experience. I don't know what went wrong there. It's worked every single time as an SC, I would say. But, you know, started on the web chat bot, through to an agent, through to a voice call, channel shifting, great first contact resolution, great customer experience. So actually, I'm going to hang that up now, Nick, before we all feel sick. And just bring that to life with a case study. So we actually have a customer in Ireland called Prepaid Power. So many of the things I've just spoken about to you, they've implemented. If you actually look at some of their key stats, their first contact resolution went up from 10% to 95%, just by using advanced routing, building the right IVRs. They used our quality management solution and speech analytics to coach their agents more effectively. That effectively changed their agent quality scores and CSAT scores by 17%. So if you implement the right technologies in the right way, and you actually augment it or supplement it with AI technologies to assist the agents, I think you can deliver that great customer experience, and hopefully the demonstration brought that to life. Okay, so I'm going to stop there. Anyone got any questions? I'm happy to answer them. Thank you very much.
What was the iPhone then for the client then? Was that a WebRTC call? Well, how were you delivering? What was he having to do with the phone?
That's just going over the public switch telephone network. So we can deliver calls using WebRTC.
No, the video bit.
The video is using our embedded video technology, so it is using WebRTC. It's the same video engine that's embedded within our unified communications platform.
Cool. So he just had to click on, you sent the web link, that was clicked on the phone, it didn't need to download any software?
No, it just opens a browser, accesses his camera and microphone, starts the interaction. Where we've seen this really, really useful, where this customer brought this to life to me, is they say they get a lot of calls into their contact centres, and their exact term was customers lie. So they're saying they're plugging their cards in, their prepaid cards or whatever into their electricity meter, and they'd move it to a video call to make sure that they were doing the right things. We've also seen this use case used a lot in public sector housing. So if you've got a rental house and you've got a problem with mold or a problem with your boiler, typically what would happen historically is you would ship someone to their house in a little white van to fix things, okay? Every time you do that, do you know what the cost is typically? £200, okay? To ship a man in a van to someone's house to see that they've switched their boiler on. So what they did is they implemented video technology, put the camera next to the boiler. All you need to do, Mr. Aikman, is turn your thermostat up, okay? Again, big ROI, big saving by using video technology.
And are they tending to enable both ends? Are they enabling the agent end?
That's a good question. So we can do that, but the feedback we actually had from our customers when we beated this is the agents didn't want to be on video, okay? So one of the other things I will typically show is you can actually, it's got geolocation in there, so I can take screenshots, I can take photographs, I can see where that person is located. That all gets sent through to the agent. At the moment, agents don't want to be on video. We're finding with this specific use case. Yeah, good question. Yeah. Any other questions from anyone? Good, all right, thank you. I'm keeping you from your drinks, all right? So I think we're at the networking.